King of the Ring, you came out, right? Had some quick work with Stone Cold, dropped him. He ended up breaking his hand.
Yeah.
Was there real heat?
I wouldn't necessarily say real heat, but it was concern as far as a guy coming from WCW, and his first act is to drop a guy and break his hand, you know. So there's some concern going into that right there. And he talked to me about it, and I talked to him. It was candid. I mean, it was straight up. It was straightforward, and he's a straightforward guy. And he told me what I did, and I felt like I needed to correct certain things.
The invasion angle could have been and should have been to a lot of people one of the biggest money angles in the history of wrestling, yet it really did not work. If the WCW and WWF were so even, how come it was such a failure on pay-per-view?
Well, one reason, because that wasn't the true WCW. I mean, we didn't have guys like Goldberg, we didn't have Sting, we didn't have Kevin Nash, we didn't have all the major players in the WCW to face the WWF superstars. So it was kind of watered down a little bit.
Do you guys need them back to really make that angle work?
For that angle, of course we need them back. I mean, you can't have WCW against WWF without the top guys.
All the WCW guys are really displaced guys from the WWF. Austin, Angle, right? Shane, Jericho, right? Right to you.
There's a lot of guys came from WCW and the WWF right now, superstars. Undertaker, you know, I mean, a lot of major players.
A lot of guys have gone back and forth, but right now there is no back and forth because the WCW is gone. We'll talk about the decline, and we'll talk about where things stand with the World Wrestling Federation when OTR returns one-on-one with Booker T and Michael L. I said to Booker as this interview was beginning, actually, when we were hearing the billboards, you ever done one of these before? And you said, I have not done an extensive one-on-one interview. So I got a lot that I want to ask you in just a few short minutes. It's not long. Do you consider yourself an actor? And do you think that you'll have to be, since that's the direction that the company really wants things to go right now?
I feel like I'm an actor in a sense, you know. I've been an actor all my life, actually, you know. I mean, even when I was a kid around the house, I always, you know, imitated certain people and whatnot. And it fits me, and I feel like I'm an athlete also, because you can't do this and not be an athlete.
There's no question that you're an athlete. There's no question you're a wrestler. Do you fear, though, that there won't be enough great wrestlers out there to wrestle against? Because the trend has gone in the other direction, and you can only look at your best when you've got someone that's your equal.
Well, we got a lot of great talent right now, I mean, in the WWF, and we got a lot of developmental companies, developmental groups, you know, and a lot of young guys that you haven't even seen coming up, so there's a lot more to come as far as talent.
Because, you know, Pete Sampras needs Andre Agassi to have a foil. John McEnroe needed Ely Nastasi and Bjorn Borg to have a foil. You need guys that you can really display all your stuff with, because there's guys, right, that are top talent, top of the roster, that you can't come anywhere close to showing all your stuff against.
That's true. I mean, but like I say, I mean, we got guys like The Rock, you know, we got guys like Stone Cold, we got the Kurt Angles, and as long as I can go out, as long as I can walk to that ring, you know, I'm going to continue to give the fans, you know, a great show every night. Whether I'm wrestling a young guy that's coming up, wrestling one of the guys who's established.
Okay, well, I mean, the WWF has gone through ebbs and flows, and almost marking the history of our show. When we started our show in '97, WCW was miles ahead, and on this show, Eric Bischoff said, "We will never lose. We will never lose a week." They lost a lot of weeks, and he bet me $5, and I've never seen the $5 from Eric Bischoff. That's probably not a big surprise, right? Now, do you think, as the WWF, I think, has hit a flat spot in the United States right now, not so much in Canada, do you feel like they'll have to start pushing the envelope again? It's a public company now, which makes it more difficult, and the edge is gone. There's still lots of fake boobs, but it's not exactly The Undertaker in a mock crucifixion, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is the dark edge ever going to come back?
Competition is good, you know. I feel like we need somebody to compete against. I mean, I feel like without that competition, you don't have that same edge, you don't have that same drive. You know, you don't want to push the envelope as far as going over the edge like you normally would, because you do have competition sneaking up on you. So I think competition is something that the sport needs. Not only you know, over on that side over here also, we just need competition just to make ourselves better, push ourselves.
Skits. Is that the answer? It sells TV, but it doesn't really sell pay-per-view, does it?
No, true wrestling sell pay-per-view. I mean, guys going out there putting it on the line. Those ladder matches you see the Hardys in. That's what sell pay-per-views. Guys like Stone Cold and The Rock going out there and working 30 minutes, you know, beat up, bruised, battered, and torn. That's what sells the pay-per-view.
Booker, book me a match for you. Number one match where you could show just how great a talent you are. Who would it be against?
The one matches that I've done that with, I mean, as far as showing, as far as what I made of is what the Canadian Crippler, Chris Benoit. I mean, that pretty much showed how far I'm willing to go as far as
You took him, right?
Line. I did win. I won the match, but as far as I would say on television I won the match, but as far as man to man between Chris Benoit and I, we were both winners after that deal.
Let's go to break because we got a few seconds left and a few more questions to ask, like 40 of them. The key to our show is we're interactive, right? We let you ask us questions. Hey, Booker, this is directed to you. When Michael's not looking, grab him by his designer sweater and bookend him into that cheap table. Well, I'm greatly offended because I take a great deal of pride, not in my clothes, but in the table. That from T-Money. And also, something we received this morning, OTR, I never knew the real story behind Mick, Kurt, and so many others until they did your show. I wouldn't trust anyone else. So some bad and some good. That from Steve in Winnipeg. Let us know your thoughts. There's our website. There's our email. There's our fax number. Back. The World Wrestling Federation. And I want to ask you about a couple of rumors that we're hearing out there. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, they could be joining the WWF in February, given the fact that you saw how those guys operated at WCW. Does that thought concern you?
It'll be a lot of changes have to go on. You know, I mean, it wouldn't be the same as the old WCW, I'm sure.
You know I'm going to push you for an answer on this.
It'll take a lot of change. It'll be a lot of attitude adjustment, yeah.
How will they have to adjust?
They won't have their own dressing room. I'm sure of that. And they probably won't be flying on the private jet every week, you know. But it's just a matter of being in sync with the boys. You know, it's all about, like I say, one working together there.
There's only so much roster space. We're hearing that there'll be cuts.
Oh, yeah, I heard there's going to be a lot of cuts after the first of the year.
Are guys talking about it?
Not guys like myself, because I'm never really worried about my job security because I go out and work pretty hard on a weekly basis. You know.
WCW dressing room, WWF dressing room, very different, right?
Night and day.
How?
Morale, you know, was a dead.
Very elitist, though, wasn't it? WCW. There were those that had and those that didn't, and there was a huge division.
Well,
right?
I mean, you had the guys, you know, like the Goldbergs, you know, the Kevin Nashes, the guys who had their own dressing rooms, you know, who didn't socialize or dress with the boys or anything like that. And then you had your guys like myself who, you know, worked with the boys, who just was a regular guy and wanted to be one of the boys, you know, and it was a difference.
Tell me about WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 2002, March 17th, Skydome is going to be my first WrestleMania. I'm performing in front of 70,000 people. It's going to be totally busy, off the hook, and it's going to be
Off the Hook is busy, right?
Exactly.
See, you got to help me out
I'm
here.
trying to
right?
vibe with you here.
You know what? There's a lot of
Off the Hook.
I was vibing with you. I can't believe that.
Exactly.
So if I want tickets for WrestleMania, and I do, how do I do that?
Ticketmaster. Right now at the Skydome, tickets on sale. Like I say, Ticketmaster, all your area locations. Get your tickets, get them now. Don't get shut out on this deal. It's going to be great.
Booker, you didn't shut us out. We all knew you were a great wrestler. Now we know you're a really cool guy. Thanks for joining us on OTR.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Off the Record with Michael Landsberg is brought to you by The Keg Steakhouse and Bar. For great steaks, good friends. See you tonight.
Oh, you're sweating.